La Gran Renuncia es auspiciado por Workation Planet, la agencia de retiros empresariales en los mejores entornos rurales de la Argentina. Si eres gerente de una empresa remota o híbrida, te ayudamos a fortalecer la conexión entre tus colaboradores compartiendo experiencias grupales únicas en un entorno de plena naturaleza. Y si eres nómada digital, te invitamos a sumarte a nuestra comunidad para descubrir los mejores destinos de Argentina mientras trabajas. Ingresa a www.workationplanet.co y entérate de todo lo que tenemos para ofrecerte. Workation Planet te invita a disfrutar el siguiente episodio de La Gran Renuncia.
Bienvenidos a un nuevo episodio de La Gran Renuncia, en este caso otro episodio especial grabado desde Buenos Aires, gracias también al gobierno de la ciudad de Buenos Aires, a la Dirección de Relacionamiento Internacional. Saludos y muchísimas gracias a Mauro Guevara por habernos habilitado esta entrevista. Gracias a la gente de la Maquinita Co. Tenemos que decir a nuestros oyentes que si ustedes van a nuestro canal de YouTube y ven el video, nosotros estamos grabando este podcast en vivo desde la Maquinita, su sede en Palermo, acá en Buenos Aires. Así que muchísimas gracias por ser nuestros anfitriones, recién llegado de las sierras y acá en esta experiencia maravillosa. Maravillosa por dos sentidos. Primero, porque compartimos desde este lugar tan pero tan especial esta edición de La Gran Renuncia, y después porque estamos con dos tremendos referentes del trabajo remoto, del nomadismo digital, de un tema que nos apasiona y nos encanta. Nosotros los seguimos siempre en las redes sociales, vemos sus aventuras, vemos lo que hacen, cómo forma comunidad, y hoy visitan Buenos Aires y nos dan el placer, el lujo de estar en La Gran Renuncia. Me estoy refiriendo a Kuchel y a Goncalo. Bienvenidos a La Gran Renuncia, es un gusto que estén acá. Thank you for being here. Well, start with the interview now. Could you tell us about your experience in Buenos Aires? How do you feel this?
Overly excited. It's been overwhelming good. It's not my first time in Buenos Aires, so coming here again after 5-6 years since my last visit, I knew what I'm coming for, but I feel like it's the same experience but on steroids. So many good things from the culture that is happening on the streets or behind doors in the theaters, the people on the street, it's lively, the cafes, the restaurants, the coworking space that I visited in the last 3 days are just amazing and on par with any places I've been in the world, so it's great. And the underwhelming part of my visit so far, that it feels familiar. I felt at home from the minute I arrived here. I felt like, oh, these are the streets that I live in, this is my cafe, this is the restaurant, these are my people around me, my friends that I go and meet on the rooftop of co-working spaces. So it feels not like a place that I want to be here for 2 weeks and go away, but me and Gonzalo already talking about, okay, how we can come and spend a much longer period of time in Buenos Aires, because it feels like I've done so much in the last few days, and the list of things I want to do and visit and see, it's infinite. So it's really good, and any person who travel the world and have the opportunity to work remote, I think should come to Buenos Aires on a one-way ticket before they decide if they want to continue or hit some roots in this beautiful place.
And in a small place in your heart, you feel Argentinian, for, say, here, little place in your heart.
I really feel at home, and that's such a good thing, because I go many places. Every other week I will be in a different country, in a different continent, and I enjoy those places, and I meet nice people, and I enjoy the food, but no place calls me to come and stay here and call home. I've been to more than 100 countries in the last 10 years, and I can probably count 4 or 5 places that I would want to make home, and Buenos Aires is definitely one of them.
Well, and your experience, Gonzalo?
I'm very analytical, so for me, I don't think about only myself, but about my community as well. And when people were just asking me before our podcast, why people love Buenos Aires so much, I see many people coming from Bansko to Buenos Aires and do these two only. Why are my people going to Buenos Aires? And I was explaining that even though it's quite a big city, small neighborhoods like Palermo make it feel small, make it feel very cozy. So it's not the same to be in the center, but if you choose well the place you live, this is actually, for me, one of the top 5 cities in the world, with Bangkok, with Lisbon, with Barcelona, for these nomads. And the reason why is that, again, being very analytical, incredible co-working spaces. We are here today at La Maquinita, but we visited several others. It's beautiful, fast internet, very thriving local community of entrepreneurs, which is something we look. Then we have the cafes. Nomads love coffee. We have an addiction for coffee. Incredible cafes. We've been to many, like El Cuervo and others. Really good coffee, like very.
Do you visit Cuervo?
Yeah, just before we came here. It's beautiful. Yes. And it's good coffee and it's good food and everybody's so good. And surprisingly, most people speak English, at least in these cafes, in the co-working spaces. I speak Spanish. I start with Spanish. They answer me back in English, which I think is really, really cool. So definitely that was also surprising. And then after that comes like the other details, like the accommodation, the activities. We've been to the Theater of Colon. We've been doing so many things. And for the last part is like, can we be healthy in a place? And again, like we're just yesterday around and you have all this nature, all these gardens, and I see people working out. I see more than 5 groups of people working out at 10 in the morning, like organized groups. There is CrossFit gyms, there is good gyms. So we can work, we can have access to culture, we can have good accommodation, and we can be healthy. And this is exactly what we look in a city. And even though it's quite big, and we are in South America, it feels very European in many senses, and that's a compliment. I work with Brazil, I work with other countries, and
why do you say that is very European? Mm-hmm. Why?
That's a good question. I think it's from the architecture. It feels very European. Also to the feel, like I feel safe here. And it was something I didn't expect, honestly. South America, right? To have this misconception that it's not safe. But once I came here, I'm walking around with my Apple Watch, my computer, and I feel safe. I know like everywhere, like Barcelona, like Lisbon, there is neighborhoods you shouldn't go. But that's just normal in Europe as well. So it feels like Europe because I don't have to look back every single second. Yes, you need to be careful. It's a city. It's a city full of people. But I feel safe. And I feel like the architecture, the way the city is built is very European. Maybe even with more nature, which is not as common anymore in Europe like it was before. So having full districts full of gardens is even better than many cities of Europe that promote themselves as green destinations are doing right now.
Well, we had a lot of wave immigration in Buenos Aires from Europe, no? Italian, Spanish.
Yes, I think definitely that helps. Even they were telling me in the tour we did, Buenos Aires believed to be the Paris of South America. I think it's better. Not sure which Paris you are compared. I don't love that today Paris is not that incredible anymore. And so, yeah, it just feels good. I'm very surprised, actually. And I usually don't like cities. I grew up in Lisbon. Now I'm more like a village person. And actually, I feel comfortable here because in the middle of such a big city, again, you can have small neighborhoods that feel very local. And that I like.
That's okay. And Dean, what trip do you recommend to do in Baires?
Sorry?
What trip?
Wow, it's a good question because just yesterday we took the bus tour, the up on, up off, and for 5-6 hours I think we were getting off the bus and seeing some of the historical places. So I love to see the city. I like to see the architecture. I like to see the history through the buildings and through the streets and the parks. And I explore cities by walk. So I would say take the bus and walk your way. I'm not a person who will go to just a specific museum, but I will take my backpack 7 a.m. And I will start to walk around
very quickly
and get lost in the street. Very quickly, but also, I will take the time to enjoy. Buenos Aires is a city you need time to to enjoy and see it all and find your neighborhood, because Boca is very different from Palermo and very different from the nightlife district, and every place is different. That's I think why I love it so much. I love big cities. I love New York, I love Bangkok, I love Tel Aviv, and I feel Buenos Aires is a good mix of them with this Latin warmth and Spanish and food, and it's happy. It's a happy place. And also for me, you watch the news, you read about Argentina before you come here, and you get a very different sense of what you should see here.
Why?
The financial crisis, the politics, like everywhere is a mess, and you expect to see people not happy or stressed. And
You watch only bad news, so.
yeah, the news only show you the dark side of every place. And if I would listen to the news, I would probably, until today, wouldn't visit any country, because the news show you that everywhere in the world is dark and dangerous. And yeah, I come here and it's completely different story. And I had an amazing conversation with local people. And that's one thing I want to highlight about Buenos Aires for anyone who consider coming here. It's so easy to talk to the locals, to find people with the same mindset as mine, people who want freedom, people who believe in remote work, people who want to explore and self-develop. So that was beautiful. But I will go back to your question. Anywhere in the city you should go. There are amazing parks. Like we took the bus, and every 5 minutes you see another park. And I was like, are we going in circles, or this is the new park? And no, there are a new park, and there is this beautiful ecological reserve, which is huge. There are few central parks in this city.
You knew the subway?
Yes.
Yeah. That's an experience. No, knew the subway.
And yeah, everything. There is no one place that I went in this time that I'm here that I regret, or it's like, nah, I don't want to go. It's just everywhere is so. Gonzalo was with me this week, and I take my camera out every 20 seconds. Oh my God, I need to take a photo of this. Oh, this is a great video. This is a beautiful moment. I feel like there is
all the time.
There is something happening around you all the time, non-stop. You look left, you look right, you look up, you look down. There is something going on, and for me, this is the level of energy I'm looking for, and you'll find it anywhere in the city. That's how I feel so far, and a different level of energy. You know, last night there was a big football game here, and you could feel the streets, and you can see already the energy, even if I was far away from the stadium. So yeah, that's great. Just whatever you're after as a traveler, give yourself time to know this place and to explore it.
And can you tell? What trip do you recommend?
What trip do I recommend? For me, it's a lot about food. Food and coffee, yeah. So definitely.
And what Argentinian food is your favorite?
Oh, I love meat, yeah. So I'm a meat person. These guys are making fun of me because I only eat meat. Yeah, if I could, I would eat meat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So Argentina fits well in my diet. Although there is a lot of dulce de leche as well. We have to be careful with that one.
Wow.
It's a bomb. So for me, I like to go between cafes and restaurants. This is how I travel more. So like going to El Cuervo, going to a Guerin pizzeria was a whole experience. And yeah, just visiting different cafes. I have like 30 restaurants and cafes booked in my Google Maps. So every time we leave the house, I say, we have to go to this cafe. And for me, it's very important to understand this experience. And I love this experience of food, cafes. So definitely in Palermo and around all these gardens, I would love, if I would have prepared like a day for myself, a tour would be definitely between walking in the nature, exercising in the garden, come to a good cafe, take a good breakfast, go out, eat lunch outside. It's beautiful outside. Eat really good meat, and then go to see some culture. Like the theater was an experience. What an experience. And then finishing the night at Guerin full of people, like hundreds and hundreds of people eating pizza, connecting, celebrating their birthdays. And so this is like the perfect day for me, usually with some work in between. So this would be my kind of tour if I was here alone and now that I know better the city.
Si te gusta nuestro contenido, te pedimos que nos ayudes a difundirlo siguiéndonos en Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube o desde la plataforma que nos estés escuchando. También puedes suscribirte a nuestro newsletter podcastlagranrenuncia@gmail.com y te haremos llegar todas las novedades acerca de gerenciamiento y trabajo remoto. Seguimos escuchando La Gran Renuncia.
And you can walk safe and quiet in the night?
Yes, in most neighborhoods, yes. It really depends on where you are, but for us, we always walked around and it's quite safe. We were warned that be careful where you go. Some neighborhoods are not good day or night. That's normal. It's the same in Lisbon and Barcelona, for example. But after the guerra, we were walking around, waiting for the taxi, and everything was quite chilled. So definitely, we never felt at any moment that we were not safe. And that's what you want to feel.
And I want to say something about safety. I think it's a lot about feeling and how you feel in a city, because crime and pickpocketing exist everywhere. But if you look at it statistically, the chance something will happen to you is very low. But still, I don't want to undermine it. I'm a smart traveler. I don't flash out anything too expensive. I don't make myself an obvious target. But I must say that I feel here so much more comfortable than I felt in many other places around the world, in Europe, in the States, in Australia. And I don't bother myself with this thought too much. I want to enjoy. I don't want to stress about this. I had things happen to me. They happened in Europe. I had things happen to friends of mine. They happened in San Francisco. So
yes,
things happen all the time. I feel very safe in Buenos Aires. I had a lot of questions coming my way on social media as people see that I explore. Like, ask me, how is it safe? Are you feel okay? And it's like, I really need to express it to people. Stop watching the news.
Yes.
And go explore, because really, if you follow the media, it's always so scary. It is so safe. People are super nice. I never once felt I'm in a not comfortable situation here. And people should know about this, and not just about Buenos Aires, but in many other places I traveled across South Central America.
And what's your favorite food or favorite tradition or food, drink in Argentina? In Buenos Aires, sorry.
I'm trying to eat in every helado place, in every ice cream place here. So I have a sweet tooth, so for me, ice cream is amazing, and yes.
Ice cream.
Yes, wow! And I had
a
few.
Surprise.
So good. Are you surprised? So many good ice creams, and of course the alfajores with dulce de leche. Yeah, I'm trying to get off the sugar, but Argentina is not.
Argentina is very well.
Is not supporting my intentions now. And of course, the meat. I don't eat a whole lot of red meat, but yesterday we had a super delicious lunch. But this is the obvious. These are the things you know about Argentina without coming to Argentina.
Some of wine? Oh, no.
We haven't had a whole lot of wine until now. But
Argentinian wine is better.
But hey, I have 2.5 more weeks here, so I'm definitely going to try some of the local wines.
Well, and what's your favorite place in Buenos Aires? Your favorite place? 1 point.
One only, okay.
Can you choose?
I can't.
Why difficult? Hard question.
So I would go with the nightlife street where the pizza going. Where's the
Corrientes?
If you say so, I believe you. I'm very bad with the names of the streets, but around the Gran Pizza, we had. We watched the show in Teatro Colón, which is a crazy experience, and I recommend anyone coming here to get a ticket. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can buy tickets for $10, $20 to enjoy one of the most unique and special theaters in the world. And then this street, we went out, it was 10 p.m., full of bars, full of restaurants, yes. Full of people. For me, this is what I travel for. Like, just to stand in the middle of the street and watch the people going and having fun and chit-chatting and drinking and partying and celebrating life. This is my street during the night. And during the day, that's a very, very difficult choice. I enjoyed a lot walking around city center, but I would say Palermo because you have so many coffee shops, and instead of finding myself working on my laptop, I find myself like, okay, which one should I go to? Like, there are so many places to try here. So I would say Palermo area during the day, it's beautiful.
And you, Gonzalo?
The biggest surprise so far was actually Maquinita. We just went there, and I was working from there, and there was like beautiful office. And I was like, oh, that's nice. It's a co-working space. Then they opened the door, and there was a garden with a pool. And then they got me. Then they was like, oh, wow, this is different. And it really felt like Bali. Bali, we have a lot of co-working spaces with pool, with these different areas with gardens. And it was like, wow, I'm back to Bali. This is cool. I was not expecting that. We've been to many co-working spaces, but La Maquinita was actually very surprising. In terms of places outside co-working spaces, I would say definitely the gardens, the Barrio Bosque. The whole gardens, yes. There's a whole garden and it's insane, just walking around. There is so many places to work out outside. There are so many places just to go run. There is so many different groups of people working out that you really feel that being outside is a big part of this city life, and it's not normal in all cities. So I really like this nature side of Buenos Aires. I would say all that region with the gardens, outdoor working out areas, places to do sports, for me is very important, so I love it.
It's interesting that you can be a digital nomad tourist here and see the best places in the city, not by going to all the touristic places, but by going to the co-working spaces. So,
yes,
the co-working space Gonzalo mentioned has an amazing pool area to work from. We were in the Ojerta before. They have an amazing rooftop with an eco garden where they grow everything by themselves. We were in WeWork in the downtown, in the center, where we get an amazing panoramic view of the city. So you don't even need to like be a tourist. Just go work from the different co-working spaces, and you'll get an amazing views and amazing experiences here.
Yes, the tourism of the digital nomads is different. No, you take a photo in the co-working with the PC. No, it's different the way.
Each one of them was an experience. Each of those places. Ojerta, we were also in Salina co-working space, was great. They have beautiful. They had a beautiful meetup on the rooftop during sunset time. We had asado in Ojerta. I've met a lot of interesting people from the local community. So it's like skip the tourism, go straight to work, and you will have the time of your life here.
That's so true.
Well.
Really looking forward to that.
Oh, and I need to mention the cemetery. I never recommended someone to
Recoleta Cemetery?
see.
Wow.
I never told someone, you gotta go see a cemetery, but I was very skeptic before I went. I was like, wow.
Do you saw a ghost, perhaps? No.
I don't think so, not yet. But
you feel that?
But it's a weird experience, but also a very beautiful experience, and I haven't seen anything this beautiful in terms of cemetery in the world. I was very like, okay, what's to do there? But that's a big surprise.
Nice. And do you know the Recoleta Cemetery?
Yeah, we were there together actually yesterday. It was very interesting. I prefer again the food experience. So in front of the cemetery there is La Biela, and that's where I eat the best crepe of dulce de leche. So we had the same place, we had very different perspectives. I love the cemetery, but for me it's about the food and the coffee experience. And just same place, different perspectives.
What do you think about the mix between digital nomadism and the government politics? But the government politics is very important to receive the digital nomads, no?
You'll hear me say the same. I don't wait for governments, but I work with governments, and I believe that it's the private sector that should make the big difference. The private sector move much faster, and you see the co-working spaces that we've been to, the events are all driven by the community. However, Buenos Aires is an exception. In Argentina, first, there is the digital nomad visa that could help bring a lot of remote professionals and digital nomads into the country. And moreover is the city effort, what Buenos Aires is doing to not only attract nomads, but also to welcome us. That's something that I haven't seen everywhere else. So a lot of cities will tell you, come visit us, come explore, but that's it. Here, they tell you come visit, and when you come in, you will get a welcome kit in the airport with a SIM card, with a SUBE card for the public transportation, which I need to go and refill today. They'll give you discount to make your trip to the city easier and cheaper for the bus. And then there is a website with a lot of information. The tourist information have also a brochure with things to do, where to go, some keywords in Spanish that we should probably all know. So I am the biggest fan of any intervention of this type, where don't come to regulate, but come to welcome us and open the door for more digital nomads to feel comfortable when we come and visit cities. There's a lot more work that needs to be done with the governments. I think Argentina can make some more policies, be a little bit more open to people coming and working from here. Yes. As long as we respect the place, we don't take any jobs from the local. So if we put the framework for this, I think Buenos Aires can benefit big time for it. And not just Buenos Aires, the whole country and the region. People come not only to travel. No one is traveling 12 hours, except me, from Europe just to stay in Argentina, but people come to explore the beautiful countries around as well. So the government, again, effort is very welcoming. I would want to see more of it. I would love to be more involved in it and to help shape this future of work and also future of this type of tourism. When I talk to local governments, I don't only care about digital nomads coming from around the world into Argentina. For me, it is very important, and I see this as a big opportunity, especially for Argentina, to help the youth in Argentina to take advantage of remote work and the number of opportunities it creates for them now around the world. Because any Argentinian with access to the internet can now have work and jobs from all over the world. It opens an amazing opportunity, and I've already met a bunch of entrepreneurs here that I was super impressed with what they built and how they think and how they take advantage of this. So we need the government to continue help on both ends of these issues.
And you, Gonzalo, what do you think about this?
I disagree with Dan. I think governments are key to actually make this movement sustainable. They are key to attract people to places. But above all, for example...
in all the cities.
Yes. For example, I'll give you the example of Lisbon on the negative side, because there is a lot of press in Lisbon on too many nomads coming, which is not true, but it's press. And because Lisbon doesn't have a project, they don't have data, they cannot show you it's true or a lie, because honestly, they don't know. This is the reality. Like Lisbon, this happened with Barcelona before. So for the good and for the worse, for places that need to attract nomads and for the places who have nomads already, the government projects can help you study the movement, study the impact that you have in the movement that all the nomads have there, and show the numbers. When you show the numbers, people have a different perspective. The reason why nomads are being attacked is just because of lack of information. We are usually 1% of the tourism in places like Lisbon, but the impact we have on where we spend our money, it's different from traditional tourism, and they should coexist. But because there is no data, it's much easier to blame something we don't know, something we don't understand, instead of trying to find what is happening, why it's happening. For example, with the housing crisis that right now is global. And some people in Portugal and Barcelona blame the nomads. 0.1% in Lisbon, 1% in some bigger destinations. So the numbers we have don't show any impact. So for both reasons, both to attract people and to know and understand better the movement and to educate the local business to take profits and to make an impact in the movement, governments are key into these projects. And that's why when we built the project, I work with different governments. So when we built the project in Madeira, the project was only successful in 2-3 months that we built because we built it with the government. The access we had to information, the access we had to people, the access we had to resources helped us educate the local restaurants, for example. Nomads tend to be vegetarians. 25% of nomads are vegetarians or vegans. So we literally did workshops for the local restaurants telling them about this, like be aware that you should have at least one dish in the menu that is vegan because people will come. This is a new trend. This is important. The same with the accommodation. We did workshops for the accommodation partners because if you want to welcome nomads, you need to have a kitchen. If you want to welcome nomads, you need to have a place to work. You need to be comfortable. The kitchen needs to be equipped. And most places were not aware of that. So we educated the whole private sector as a government to actually welcome nomads. Then when people came, when something went wrong, imagine somehow me or Dean end up in prison, it's much more, it just gives you peace of mind knowing that the government knows of your existence, that if something goes wrong, you end up in the hospital, the government will do, because they have your registration, they have your data, they will try to help you instead of just being alone and abandoned in one place. So the whole experience, if we build it well with governments, can change completely the way we see the digital nomad movement, the way we welcome, the way we profit, because the goal from the government is to make the whole private sector to profit, because that's the only way then they get their investment back through taxes, right? And so, for example, in Madeira, we invested around 50,000 euros per year. We got back 30 million direct in the economy per year. More than 200 startups were registered in Madeira during this time. So the economics make sense. It's beautiful to have nomads. It's beautiful to say we are a nomad hub. But when we speak about the money, if we have a government project, we can have data. We can show the data. We can see this is successful because this, and this. These are the numbers. So for me, it's really key that governments really step in like they have for tourism. If you go to research tourism, there is very specific statistics around tourism. We need the same for nomads, and we need the governments to step in and actually manage this project, not just by creating marketing campaigns, but actually by creating and managing the community with the private sector. This is the key. And it's not taking ownership of the project, it's having a project that invites all the private sector to partnerships to actually do it. And taking that into account, looking to all the projects in the world, I say we have like 60 digital nomad visas right now that somehow has a marketing campaign behind them. Definitely Buenos Aires right now is, from government projects perspective, top 3 in the world. From the government projects, because most of them failed. Most of them focus in the marketing campaign, which we don't really care about marketing. For that we had the traditional tourist videos, right? We care about knowing where is the community. We care about knowing where are the cafes. We care about what are any good co-working spaces. We care about information and community. And Buenos Aires project is very good in giving information, in inspiring people to come here, in bringing us here to see how good it is. I didn't know. I remember Mauro reached out to me back in brand new remote in Lisbon, and I said, Gonçalo, why don't you write about Buenos Aires? And my answer was, I've never been there. How can I write about it? I don't know what to write. I don't know how is Buenos Aires. And now I'm here. Now I understand. And this all happened. The reason why we are here today is because the government, Buenos Aires government, invited us to be here today. Buenos Aires government is showing us in 1 week what we would traditionally would see in 3 months. Without Buenos Aires government, we would not be here. We'll never talk about Buenos Aires. We'll never write about Buenos Aires. We would never share our experience with our communities to show them how good Buenos Aires is. And this is a key part of everything that's happening right here. And that's why you are, even though the numbers are not there yet, because it's a whole South American issue to develop it, we have to develop it as South America. The truth is, inside South America, and if you go to Nomad list, Buenos Aires is top 20. And this was not true before the project started at all.
Gonçalo, Jean, do you say something?
Just
about
thank
this?
you.
Well, Gonçalo, Jean, really it's a pleasure to talk with you in the Great Resignation, in La Gran Renuncia. Thank you for this time.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias for this opportunity, and it's really nice to be here, and thank you for making me feel home in your country.
Thank you, Gonçalo.
Thank you so much.
Y gracias a ustedes por estar en este episodio especial de La Gran Renuncia, especialísimo y muy felices por estar con Dean Kuchel, con Gonçalo Hall, tremendos referentes del nomadismo digital, del trabajo remoto. Muchísimas gracias a la Maquinita Co, muchísimas gracias por este ambiente tan lindo que nos ha brindado. Gracias al gobierno de la ciudad de Buenos Aires también, a Mauro Guevara, de parte de la Dirección de Relacionamiento Internacional y de su equipo, que acá está trabajando a full para poder dar todas las comodidades para poder seguir adelante. Esto ha sido La Gran Renuncia. Muchísimas gracias y nos encontramos en el episodio que viene.
Escuchaste La Gran Renuncia, un podcast producido por Roberto Schlesinger y Cristian Curto. Si te gustó, hace clic en el botón seguir y nos vemos en el próximo episodio.